Black Hollow was the kind of place that didn't exist on maps anymore. Nestled deep in the mountains, surrounded by thick, ancient forests, it was shrouded in constant mist and folklore. Locals believed the village was cursed. Every few years, someone disappeared after entering the Elara house, a decaying mansion that stood like a forgotten queen on the edge of the woods. No birds ever flew over it. No light ever touched its broken windows. Ryan Carter was a documentary photographer known for exploring haunted and abandoned places. He wasn't in it for fame. He was searching for something, though he never admitted what. After finding a half-burnt article about the tragedy of Elara House in an old library, something drew him to Black Hollow. The story felt unfinished, like it had been waiting for him. Ryan was skeptical of ghosts, but addicted to mystery. This time, he went alone according to legend. Elara was a beautiful young woman who had fallen in love with a traveler a century ago. He promised her forever. But forever, as it turned out, was just a word. He left, and she was never the same. One night, Elara was found dead in the mansion. Locals said she took her own life, but the stories whispered otherwise, that she killed him first. Since then, her spirit haunted the house, still waiting for someone who would stay. They say if you look into her eyes and see your future. She never let you leave Ryan and enter Elara house just before dusk. The place smelled of wet wood and time. His flashlight flickered as he stepped through the rotting doorway. He began filming, walking through dusty corridors until he reached a grand hallway with an old mirror at the end. As he raised his camera to capture it, he saw her, not behind him, not beside him, but inside the mirror. She wasn't a blur or a shadow. She stood there, perfectly still, in a white dress stained with time. Her hair flowed like ink, and her eyes didn't just look at him. They held him. He couldn't move. In that moment, he felt something terrifying and tender. Loneliness, love, and something ancient shaken. Ryan explored the upper floor and found a room untouched by decay. Inside, on an old dresser, lay a leather-bound journal. It belonged to Elara. As he flipped through, he read of her falling in love, her heartbreak, and something darker. He said I was his forever. So I made him mine. Now he's always here, waiting just like me. Further in the journal, Elara described a ritual, a way to bind a soul. She didn't want to be alone, so she took what she was promised. As night fell, Ryan set up his camera to record overnight, but the equipment failed. The batteries drained. The air thickened. He heard whispers, not angry or hostile, but pleading. Stay. He tried to leave, but the doors wouldn't budge. Every hallway led back to the same mirror, and in the mirror, Elara's eyes kept calling him. He realized the truth too late. The moment he looked into her eyes and felt something, the curse had started. She wasn't just a ghost. She was searching for someone to believe in her again, someone to love her enough to stay. And Ryan had seen his forever in her eyes. The next morning, a group of hikers passed by the mansion. One of them, curious, peeked through a broken window. The place looked deserted. But on the second floor, they saw something chilling, an old mirror standing upright. In its reflection, a woman in white stared directly at them. Behind her stood a man, young with a camera in hand, eyes wide open, frozen in terror or longing. No one had entered Elara house in years. No one had come out in even longer. They say Elara still waits in that mirror, her eyes full of love and grief. But she's not alone anymore, because in her eyes he found his forever, and in his